Well, Graham Stringer, Member of Parliament for Blakely and Broughton, is with us now to talk us through the Labour conference over the last couple of days. Good morning to you. Firstly, let's start with that. You presumably heard that video there, Rep. Mark Ferguson speaking about white men putting their hands up, or not too many to. What did you make of that? Your thoughts? Because our viewers have had we've had a huge response this morning from our viewers.
I think the Labour Party wants to be as diverse as it can and encourage people to put their hands up. On the other hand, I don't think you pursue equality and anti-discrimination by discriminating against people who want to speak. It's up to the chair of whatever, whether it's a conference or fringe meetings or any other meeting, to sort out a balance between who is asking questions. And there are all sorts of balances in every kind of meeting. There are gender balances, people of different colours, people from different political perspectives in the party. And it's up to the chair of any meeting to try and balance that out, not to tell some people that they should be putting their hands down. I think that's wrong.
Language, isn't it? I mean, if any sentences started with too many black people are putting their hands up, I mean, we would not end the fuss we'd hear over that.
I agree, and I think approaching what's a difficult question, an issue, it is wrong to ask some people not to participate. It is up to the chair of any meeting to try and get the best balance of opinions and people that they can from the chair.
Graham, it's great to have you on the programme this morning. Whenever you're on, we always get reaction from people saying that allow someone talking common sense. And it's on that basis, a grown-up assessment of what we've seen in Brighton over the last few days, which to someone just looking from the outside cannot be seen to have gone as you would have wished, as any Labour member. You've had Keir Starmer under pressure, you've had the Angela Rayner incident, you've had the two of them looking very ill at ease, and then last night you have a shadow cabinet member resigning. It's a mess, isn't it?
I know Andy and Angela well. Angela's an MP close to where I'm a Member of Parliament, and I used to serve on the same select committee as Andy. They're both principled people, but I think they've made a mistake in terms of allowing a lot of the coverage of the conference to be about them. It's indulgent, really. Andy was in, apart from the leader of the party, in the most influential position to deal with employment rights and the minimum wage or the living wage. And at the last minute to resign, I think is a mistake. Your programme and every other outlet is talking about this morning. And I think Angela made a mistake in the fringe meeting by going over the top with language. I think that in politics we need less anger and more rationality, and there are plenty of rational reasons to criticise this government and to explain why the Labour Party policies are better. So I think that side of it has been poor and a mistake by those two individuals. But overall, through all that noise, really, there are beginning to come to some very positive Labour Party policies through the conference.
What are those positives?
Well, their policies about, I just saw as I was waiting to be interviewed, about police. There's beginning to be sound policies on taxation, the unfairness of the competition between high street shops and out of town distributors like Amazon is beginning to be tackled by a change in taxation policy. There's been announcements on investment into energy that needs fleshing out so that we talk as much about energy security and the price of energy to people as we do about green policies. But there's a whole series, a whole raft of policies across the board that can be the foundation of Labour's manifesto. And to go back to the Andy MacDonald story, of course, there's been a number of announcements on improved rights for people at work, and that's a good thing. And sadly, that's been drowned out by Andy resigning.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of attention on John Bercow making his first appearance. I mean, if people are interested in that. The question people must be asking at conference is whether Keir Starmer is the man to take them into the next election. And has he strengthened his case for that over the last couple of days, or has he weakened it?
I think that's a really difficult question. The Labour Party is extremely tolerant with its leaders. Keir is going to be the person that leads us into the next election. Knocking him at the present time is a mistake, I think. What we need is a level of unity. And people calling for unity never get it. What gives parties, particularly the Labour Party, unity is if we think we're going to win. One of the reasons we will begin to get ahead in the opinion polls, when we've been gaining in the opinion polls, if people stop sniping from the sidelines. I also think there is a responsibility on Keir to include people from all wings of the party, right, left and centre, and there is a sense in the background at conference that this has been a victory for the centre or the right. I don't want a victory for right, left and centre. I want people bringing into the fold so that everybody from whichever political perspective within the Labour Party can make their contribution.
Finally, so you believe this has been a successful Labour Party conference, do you?
Not as successful as it could have been, but it's the Labour Party, and there are always rows and discussions and debates. But all political parties are like that. I would have liked it better if we hadn't have had Angela's outburst, if Andy hadn't have resigned and there'd been more focus on policy, and we hadn't have started the conference by a debate about rules. So, you know, if one had to mark it out of 10, I certainly wouldn't give it 10 out of 10 as a success, but perhaps 6.5 to 7 out of 10. I've certainly been to more divisive and worse Labour conferences than this one.
We appreciate your honesty.
Yeah,
that,
Graham,
yes.
It's really good to talk to you as ever, and yeah, nice to hear a measured approach. I think that's fair. Are you often called measured?
Yeah, but I've been called all sorts of things in policy. In politics. I've been called extreme left-wing, right-wing, reactionary, and I'm pleased to be called measured after those comments.
Well, it's great to talk to you, Graham. Thanks
Graham.
very much.